All right, here we are back. Hey, how are you?
Hey.
Back here once again at the Progressive Auto Sales. Wow, what a crowd. You can always tell the Battle of the 402 brings them out.
I know. Just be careful crossing the street in here, man.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
And you can hear the London fans cheer as it is 2-0 right now for the London Knights. And, you know, one of the positive things out of all this is the London fans come down here.
Sure.
Well,
good news for the 50-50 puck sellers, that's for sure.
Well, my goodness.
And 50-50, well, Chuck a Puck is going to do well, and the 50-50, you can always tell.
You should have got this game.
I know.
Well, it's 15 shots on goal to our 5, and there's that conversation that we always have about the shots on goal. They're all on top of us out there.
Well, yeah, you know what, and I think I want to say we're playing a bit undisciplined, you know, like, you know, there's lots of great moves and dodges and bobs and weaves and the whole 9 yards, but the bottom line is, I mean, in that first period, you know, we were passing to open ice.
Right.
It just happened, like, you know, Perot does a great job of diving his way in and, you know, under a huge amount of duress, and then he lobs one right into the post position, and there's just nobody there. You know, and we're leaving guys deep. We're over-skating things and underpassing them. You know what, there's just a lot of little things going wrong out there. I think, you know, we need to settle down, you know, and do that cliche, you know, let's just play some good old-fashioned hockey.
Well, Jake Kursky said that, actually, so let's just play some good old-fashioned hockey.
Yeah.
The other thing he talked about, and I know you mentioned this yesterday, was that there's been so many line changes happening out there as far as who's on those lines because of all the differences happening out there. And then, you know, now Perot's back, and you got to get comfortable changing things around again. And that's going to be hard to deal with as well. But let's talk about the line of Sam Bitt and Theo Hill and Braden Guy.
You know what? I like that lineup because I like that combination. I mean, that's a bit of a gritty line, and I think you know, that's one of those lines you can kind of count on to not mess anything up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether they put a lot of an offense forward or not doesn't matter. I mean, that's a line you can pretty much count on every time they're out there. And I really like Theo Hill. I think has really stepped up his game in the last few weeks. I want to say, you know, I've recognized him or seen him involved in more interesting parts of the game in more plays than I have in the past, and that's good news. When I notice somebody, it means they're either doing something right or they're doing it horribly wrong. And
right.
I think, truthfully, he's doing a pretty good job. I've been pretty impressed lately.
Yeah. What about Ty Voigt? You talked about him the other day too. You're saying you'd like to see a little more of him.
And I still think I'd like to see more. I think Voigt, you know, he's a character kind of player, and I like. You know, I like how fast he is. I like how good he is with his hands. But, I mean, as I mentioned before, I think he just gets pushed off the puck a little too easy sometimes. And he's so quick, he tends to overskate things a little bit.
Right.
You know, if he can find a way to get himself in the right position, I think we're going to see some good things from him.
All right. Well, we've got to see some good things coming out. I know we say it every time, but it's true. The second period seems to be our best.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to hold true again here with?
Well, I hope so. I mean, we got to pick up the pace a little bit. I mean, London.
They're a little faster than us.
Yeah,
right now,
they're beating us to the puck. You know, they're fifth place right now overall in the O, which puts them, you know, considerably higher. They're in the top 5, and we're in the bottom 3. And you know, so one would expect them to be overplaying us, and they are a little bit. You know, 2-0. Just means we got stuff to work on. If we can figure that out, you know, we're a tight hockey game.
So what things do we got to figure out then?
Well, I think, you know what, we can't be passing to the little short little passes into nothing. We make a lot of panic passes.
Yeah, fair enough.
Do you know what I mean? Like where it's like, oh God, you know, there's a guy on me.
Yeah.
You know, and it's that quick little pass that either goes to open ice or it goes behind our guy or whatever. We need to be more deliberate in stuff like that.
Okay.
And you know, I'll make no bones about it. I understand the nature of the dump and run, but when you're playing against a team that is faster than you, the dump and run means a turnover almost every single time.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's rocket science that we need to spend more time controlling the puck against the Knights and making good, clean passes. You know, like that's the way to make this work. You don't have to, you know, be that awesome skater with the amazing moves. As long as you've got someone to pass it.
Fanciness.
No, but there, you know what? But you got to be able to, you know, it's not about keeping it on your stick forever, but finding the right open pass. You know, finding those right moments. You know, through where you're not dumping it through three guys or trying to charge through three guys to get somewhere. You know, it's smart hockey beats this.
Right.
You
Ethan
know,
Langevin, of course, coming in tonight to play. He's been off for a few games.
He's had a couple of really good stops.
Yeah, really good for sure. Like, and had to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
At the same time, how did those two goals happen?
Well, because we let them in way deep, and we just like, you know, like it's funny when we're on the offense, you know, we can't seem to make it. We're just inside the blue line, you know, juggling the puck just inside the blue line. When London's in our zone, we crash into our own net, and we let them inside the circle, and you know, so they've got a tight, you know, and lanes open up that way. It's just, you know what? There's a couple of strategy things I think I still haven't quite figured out here.
All right, his hands are flying everywhere, folks. So
I know.
He's got something to say, so we better pay attention. Speaking of paying attention, let's go out to our Facebook. Corinder, all the way from the United Kingdom, is watching us.
Woohoo!
Says, hey, David, the score is 2-0 in favor of the London Knights.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us. The 50-50 draw. Yeah, look at that go. It just went from like
I know
36. It's like
$4,200. Yeah, it's
I guess
crazy.
I know what you'll be using. Blake's out there as well. Thanks for watching, Blake. Who else? Look at him coming here. Corinder, is Jameson Reese playing? No. Now, this is cool. Shout out to Corinder, all the way in the United Kingdom, and following along.
100%.
And knows who Jameson Reese is.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
Really cool. No, not today. Is Josh Jacobs playing? Where are we here? Barry's like, the Sting need to figure this out soon and get a much-needed win.
Yeah.
Boy, Barry, there's no fooling you. I can say that. I know
well,
Barry
and it's going to be
right.
be a challenge. You know, I mean, we talked about that. It's going to be a challenge because, you know, we played Sagnaw's in third place overall. Last night.
Yeah.
You know, that was a tough loss. You know, we're playing London. They're in fifth place. You know, that's another tough one. I think we're playing some top-level teams over the next little bit. You know, a win is going to be hard to come by. If we're gonna win, if we're gonna catch that W, we're gonna have to go out there and make it happen. And I think that's what we're failing to see right now.
Well,
we're not on top of this right now.
No, and we've talked a little bit. Jake and I talked about it. We talked about it yesterday too, about the confidence level.
Yeah.
You need the confidence to win, but if you don't have the confidence, you can't win. So it's one of my media friends said it's kind of like putting the chicken before the egg. Like, how do they get that back?
Well, you need a catalyst. You need something that just, you know, bounces your way. You need that, you know, that moment of inspiration, that, you know, a properly placed goal. Okay. You know, a well-timed penalty.
But if you don't have the confidence to get those goals, right? So what's happening in the locker room right now? Is there that motivational speech happening? Does that make a difference?
I would think so. And I think that the thing is that, you know, the real message here is you just can't stop trying. Right? And then eventually, if you keep
it's really
trying,
tough when you're down.
I get it. But if you keep trying, right, at some point something good is going to happen that we can build on. You know what I mean? We got to learn from every game and move on. You know, you can't play against the London Knights the same way you play against Saginaw.
Right.
You know, it's a different kind of game.
There's a lot of learning going on
there
out
is.
there.
I get it, you know. But that's what happens. When you're down, you're constantly focused on what's it going to take to get a win. Why do we keep losing? So you start fixing things, right? And if you do it right, you fix enough things, you get yourself a win. Then now you got something you can build on. You know, it's really easy to be the top of the league. You know what I mean? Because then you don't got to worry, well, we don't got to really fix anything. We're just doing great. So they start to coast a little bit. At least that's, human nature, I guess. I mean, what do I know?
Okay, here's the question. I'm going to put it right out there, though. It's getting a little more risky every year.
Sure. You go push the envelope.
It's all good. We just don't talk about referees, Jay.
No, okay, fine. Fair enough. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I know. You can just, if you wanted to talk about a referee, you just have to come up here and give a look, and we'd know what you were thinking. Yeah, one of those. Okay. Here's the question.
Yes.
And for those of you watching out there, feel free to give us a comment. Does the Sarnia Sting have what it takes to get into the playoffs?
Ooh, that's a risky question.
I
want to say
skills are. I think the skills are there. I really do. But
I wouldn't deny you that. I think I absolutely agree. I think we have some skills. I think we're lacking a couple of things. We're lacking a marquee player. We're lacking that one or two guys that are those clutch guys. They're those guys that could just pull it out of their back pocket whenever they feel like it. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that, right? So I think that's one thing.
Injuries.
Yep, 100%. 100%. The second thing I think we're missing is, I think we're missing that team cohesion thing.
That team what? Sorry.
Cohesion.
Okay.
That sort of that
energy.
Oneness.
That energy.
There's an energy that comes when you're all firing on the same. All cylinders are firing in the same direction, and you've got that. I think we're missing that, and I think part of that is just because of the nature of the season. I mean, we've had, these varying injury, suspension, this, constant change.
Injury, suspension,
and it's not always the same guys. So it's we have those things happening, and it's hard to really build, team play when you've got that much change happening all the time. So I think that's the 100%. Other thing. And I think the third thing is really that we're coming crashing into the end of the season in a way out spot. You got to have drive and determination to make that happen. And I from the look of the first period tonight and third period last night, I just think I don't know that it's there. You know.
Well, I don't know if you saw me talking with Jake David pregame. And we mentioned the interview that we had with Ben Gaudreau yesterday.
Yeah.
And we brought up the confidence thing, and he had the positive answers, of course. We have to regroup and get. Yeah, I know, I get that. But if you watch the interview, and I'm not putting Ben down, it was a great interview, but you just see the look on his face. He just kind of a little sad.
Yeah.
And we talked about where he's come from, and he's had been given a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And then you come to this team that's
struggling,
underachieving.
I don't know. We're struggling. I don't know. I think it's struggling.
And that's got to be frustrating. That's like a.
Because don't get me wrong, Gabe. I love the Sting. I don't think that.
Oh, I know.
That where we are is by nature of any conscious decisions.
No. I don't think they woke up and said, we don't care anymore.
I think it's just
one of those things.
Effect, like it's, when you get into a tough part of the season, you're down a few, and you're playing some of the top teams in the league. I think the effect is that we have a harder time pulling a win out,
right.
and it hurts. It just hurts.
All right, well, let's see if they can get the hurting to stop coming out here into the second period, which always seems to be our favorite. Right? It always seems to be our favorite.
I know, right?
We're about a minute and a half away, and $4,700. You're taking me to Brownstones after.
There you go, 100%.
Or something like that. All right, thanks to everybody for watching. Corinder did ask, is there somewhere you can watch us online? If you go to the OHL website, there is a pay-per-view that you can watch there as well. Anywhere else for free, I'm not really sure. So thanks for watching to all of you, and thanks for coming back, paying us a visit here,
100%.
telling us everything how it needs to be. Sarnia Sting behind by 2. 2-0 favor of the London Knights. 15 shots on goal to our 5. What's going to happen? Come out the next 20. Follow us along on Facebook. I'll be back here with Jake Chersky, and then, of course, post-game after tonight's results. For the show live on location, I'm David Burrows and my good friend Jay Peckham.
Clear!
Thanks for watching.